So what was your feedback from WCW when you checked in with them a little bit?
Well, I finally, I went through Jeff Jarrett, I went through Kevin Nash, and they buzzed Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff did give me a call one night, and I'll never forget it, man. Like, the first minute of the conversation with Eric, I was like, this is the most arrogant, egotistical guy I've ever spoken to in my life. But I'll just never forget, I mean, he was the most arrogant, conceited, obnoxious. I knew that the first 2 minutes I spoke to him. And quite frankly, when I hung up the phone with him, I had a feeling of like, I don't think I want to work for that guy.
Who brought you into WCW exactly?
I reached out to J.J. Dillon, so it was J.J.
And he had previously worked for WWE, so you knew him from that.
Yeah.
Was Eric Bischoff gone by that time?
Yes. Yep.
I guess they had fired him due to loss of money or
whatever.
Okay. Do you know how many years Bischoff actually profited while he was in charge of WCW?
God, I don't know, bro. I really don't.
Because we always hear about what a genius he is, but there really wasn't that many years of profit with him.
Yeah, no, there weren't. People want to sit there and tell you I was a failure every place else I went, right? Well, when I went to WCW, under the original agreement, when it was Ed and I, the first show, the last show they did before Ed and I started writing, the rating was a 2.5, and anybody can go look that up. The 3 months when I went home, we were up to a 3.5. So in 3 months, we went from a 2.5 to a 3.5. Anybody can look at that. When I went back and I was forced to work with Eric Bischoff, I'm not taking responsibility for that time. Because that's, having to work with him, that was not going to work from the beginning. So I'm not taking any responsibility for that. I go to TNA.
Why didn't that work?
Because him and I are like oil and water. I respect people. I treat people with respect. I like getting my hands dirty. I like being one of the workers. I like getting in the trenches. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. Eric Bischoff, on the other hand, thinks he's better than everybody else, is driven by money and by power, and treats people like shit. And that's why we don't get along with two completely different people. I hated the way he treated people. And a lot of the way he treated people, they were my friends. And I hated it. And I never got along with him. I'll never get along with him with two different people. But then people, they'll sit here and they'll want to talk about, Vince was the filter. Vince was the filter. Vince McMahon was his filter at WWE. That's why he was so successful. I looked at TNA ratings the other day. 300,000 people are watching TNA. Do you know what we had TNA up to when I was writing at TNA?
No.
1.3 million people.
What was the whole situation with you and Hogan at the Bash at the Beach?
Oh God, bro, that could be a whole other thing.
The brief version of it.
The brief version of it is Hogan was in on it. Bischoff was in on it. Everything you saw was agreed upon. Hogan went home and read the internet of how everybody believed it and everybody bought into it, and Vince Russo finally put Hulk Hogan in his place. All that stuff pissed Hulk Hogan off. The next thing you know, I'm getting sued for defamation of character, and Hogan and Bischoff are claiming they knew nothing about the promo or anything I was going to do. Obviously, it went to a court of law. The court of law kicked it out because they said this was a wrestling show. He referred to you as a character. This is a waste of our time. Hogan took it to a second court where a different judge did the same exact thing. So the bottom line is we were all in on it. Hogan got his feelings hurt because people thought it was a shoot. And because of that, he sued me in a frivolous lawsuit that was thrown out twice.
And what was it like working with him before that? Was it all right? Or?
It wasn't all right, bro, because he never trusted me. He didn't trust me. Flair never trusted me. In their minds, I was trying to get rid of the old guys. I had a contract and my incentive was based on ratings. I got paid based on ratings. Why, in my wildest imagination, would I want to eliminate a Hulk Hogan and a Ric Flair from the show? Well, I'd have to be an idiot to want to eliminate two of the biggest names in the history of the business from the show. My whole idea was to repackage them, put them in a role where they need to be at this point in their careers. But in their minds, I wanted to get rid of them. I wanted to put them out of work.